Welcome to the language of black and white photography, an academic exploration. ISBN 978 976 47159, podcast 203. Join me, Dr. William Anderson Gittins, a renowned Barbadian author, podcaster, cultural theorist, and media arts specialist, as we explore the language of black and white photography and academic exploration. ISBN 978 976 47159, and the significant influence that black and white photography has had on the craft of storytelling in photojournalism. Through my extensive experience lenses as a photojournalist and cultural theoretician, I have unearthed how monochrome imagery serves as a universal language that captures emotions and cultural complexities, transcending linguistic barriers. According to VIA.com, this scholarly work emphasizes the historical importance of black and white photography. Despite the popularity of color photography, black and white photography has long been recognized for its capacity to evoke strong feelings, draw attention to contrast, and preserve artistic and historical moments, and employing detailed analysis of tonal contrast and visual elements to demonstrate their narrative power. In view of the aforesaid, I wish to advocate for a renewed approach to photographic education, urging a deeper understanding of image, interpretation, and the construction of coherent narratives, ultimately contributing to the evolution of photography as a critical form of communication in contemporary society. Given the specifics of this conversation, it is important to note that as a well-known author, photojournalist, and cultural theorist from Barbados who holds a doctorate in theology, through these perspectives, I've witnessed the transformative evolution of photography, particularly in the realm of photojournalism for the past 30 years. My journey has illuminated how black and white photography uniquely conveys narratives, emotions, and cultural nuances, acting as a universal language that transcends linguistic barriers. In the language of black and white photography explained, I delve into the historical significance of this genre, analyzing its tonal interplay, contrast, and visual grammar. This analysis highlights the need for a re-education in photographic interpretation that focuses on narrative construction and contextualizes images as cohesive bodies of work. One of the stark realities regarding this conversation is the fact that there is the emotional renaissance of black and white photography. A case in point, according to breezybrowser.com, because of its originality, topic expressions, timeless appeal, and cognitive mechanism, black and white photography evokes strong feelings and sentimentality. Black and white photography possesses an intrinsic emotional renaissance, utilizing tonal values and contrast to articulate stories that may be overlooked in color. The absence of color compels the viewer to engage more deeply with the composition, light, and texture, elements akin to grammar and syntax in spoken language. Each image serves as a word. Collective images narrate intricate stories reminiscent of prose. This parallel illustrates how understanding photographic language parallels linguistic literacy. Both require a grasp of structure to convey complex ideas effectively. That said, historically, black and white photography has been a pivotal medium for documenting significant moments and cultural narratives. From early 20th century photojournalism to contemporary practices, this medium has evolved, yet its fundamental role remains unchanged: to connect audiences through shared experiences and emotion. This view is supported by ejournalaward.org. According to wechronicle.com, the digital revolution has democratized photography, allowing students to utilize smartphones and social media platforms like Instagram. However, despite this accessibility, which is deemed part of popular culture, yet many young individuals struggle to comprehend photography's potential beyond mere image capture. Thus, it becomes imperative to guide them towards recognizing photography as a form of narrative and self-expression. A case in point: all things being equal, in the realm of visual storytelling, rainfall emerges as a poetic dialect that articulates emotions and narratives through monochromatic imagery. Each droplet, whether it dances lightly on surfaces or cascades in heavy sheets, contributes a distinct texture to the canvas of photography. A gentle mist can envelope portraits in a mystical haze, lending an ethereal quality to the subjects, while sheets of rain can transform ordinary landscapes into dramatic vistas, accentuating contrast and shadows. Street photography during a hurricane takes on a life of its own, where reflections and glistening pavements weave tales of urban solitude or collection celebration. Thus, the language of rain in black and white transcends mere weather, inviting photographers to explore themes of melancholy, beauty, and resilience. This view is supported by photographylife.com. After considering the aforementioned, I am aware of the idea of bridging cultural boundaries with visual language. Photographs can maintain cultural narratives and overcome linguistic boundaries by highlighting common human experiences. In view of the aforesaid, it should be noted that during my tenure as a teacher at KPhil campus in the Diploma of Education program, art and photography, I saw firsthand how students interact and visual elements develop their ability to decipher hidden meanings and emotions. In essence, developing a vocabulary for discussing photography helps cultivate understanding and appreciation for its narrative potential. Teaching photography as a visual language allows students to enhance their early literary skills while fostering creativity. By harnessing the power of visuals, educators can create a stimulating and inclusive learning environment. Educational strategies employing photography, according to oyasin.io, include facilitating historical analysis, vocabulary development, and storytelling prompts. For instance, using photographs to prompt discussions around cultural comparisons or art history can deepen students' understanding of diverse perspectives. This method encourages learners to visualize abstract concepts, reinforcing their grasp of both language and culture. Moreover, integrating photography into cross-disciplinary lessons such as geography and mathematics can enhance students' comprehension and retention of complex ideas, demonstrating photography's versatility as an educational tool. In the genre of the syntax of photography, The process decoding the visual language of black and white photography necessitates an understanding of its inherent codes and grammatical rules. This thinking is supported by photopedagogy.com. The creation of compelling black and white images presents unique challenges that demand artistic proficiency. One must master the use of traditional black and white film, digital monochrome settings, or post-processing techniques to achieve the desired tonal effects. In contrast, color photography evokes different narratives, highlighting the distinctiveness and flexibility of each photographic form. The tonal connections established through careful exposure and composition amplify the emotional impact of the images. Mastery of these elements results in photographs that not only captivate viewers but also evoke strong feelings and communicate profound meanings. In the realm of black and white photography, tonal connections play a pivotal role in the visual narrative, bridging the spectrum form that deepest blacks to the brightest whites. This thinking is supported by digitalphotographyschool.com. The nuanced grays in between contribute significantly to the overall composition, infusing images with depth and rich contrast. By skillfully manipulating these tonal regions, photographers can evoke a sense of dimensionality that draws the viewer into the photograph, transforming simple images into profound works of art. This view is supported by photographyicon.com. These graduations serve not only as a foundation for light and shadow, but also as a medium for emotional expression and storytelling. Ultimately, the mastery of tonal corrections is essential for achieving impactful and evocative imagery in the absence of color. For example, landscapes captured in rich grayscale tones can evoke a sense of nostalgia or melancholy, while portraits can reveal complexities of human emotion through shadows and highlights. This thinking is advanced by myphotographyguide.com. Make no mistake, this immersive quality underscores the importance of engaging with photography as a form of visual rhetoric. In the scheme of things, and all things being equal, I hasten to state for the record that cultural reflections within this theological framework as a Barbadian author, theologian, and licensed cultural practitioner, my exploration of photography intersects with a deep understanding of language as a vehicle for communication and expression. It should be mentioned that reading the Bible gives me scriptural insights like Ecclesiastes 9:10, King James Version states, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest." And Exodus 25, King James Version states, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." These scriptures combined provide a theological context for artistic expression in photography and emphasize the temporal nature of existence and the necessity of making all needs meaningful, urging artists to invest effort into the creative pursuit as a form of glorification. That said, the second commandment further complicates the relationship between photography, art, and spirituality, suggesting a careful navigation of idolatry and representation in artistic endeavors. While photojournalism and photography serve as a powerful medium for storytelling, it must be exercised within the context of reverence for the subjects it captures. Aligning artistic practices with spiritual convictions ensures that photography remains a vehicle for truth, according to Roland Barthes, and genuine expression rather than merely a tool for aesthetic pleasure, according to academia.op.com. This thinking has to do with perceiving a true perfection is not required. We can even experience aesthetic pleasure when we are in error. This view is advanced by academic.op.com. Now that I have contextualized the language of black and white photography and academic exploration, ISBN 978-976-97471-59, podcast 203, I wish to conclude by highlighting the relevance of this study of black and white photography, reveals its multifaceted role as a narrative medium that transcends linguistic and cultural barriers. By fostering an understanding of photographic language, we can cultivate a deeper appreciation for its capability to connect diverse audiences and share powerful experiences. We may overcome obstacles and learn from one another by forming relationships with others. This thinking is advanced by ResearchGate.net. Through educational approaches that emphasize storytelling and visual literacy, we can bridge the gap between technical expertise and emotional renaissance. This view is supported by neurolaunch.com. Ultimately, there's a school of thought which suggests that photography is a universal language. However, according to lomograph.com, it's interesting to note that non-verbal languages like mathematics may also be regarded as languages. So, it's not just the photographic language that doesn't utilize words, but photography's range of capabilities sets it apart from the other non-spoken languages. It is debatable whether photography as a visual language is truly universal because different people may interpret images differently. However, some photojournalists, including yours truly, think that photography is a universal language. That being said, it should be noted that one that allows us to convey complex ideas, feelings, and cultural narratives without the need for words, illustrating the profound impact of this art form is both personal and collective context. This manuscript, adapted from podcast episode 203, delved into the intricate language of black and white photography through an academic lens, making its concepts accessible to a broader audience. Joined from ePublication 359, it explores the visual rhetoric employed in monochrome imagery, analyzing its historical significance, emotional renaissance, and aesthetic principles. The work emphasizes how light, shadow, contrast, and composition contribute to the storytelling within photographic art. By translating scholarly discourse into an engaging format, this manuscript invites readers to appreciate the nuances of black and white photography, fostering a deeper understanding of its artistic and cultural implications. It delved into the historical significance, technical elements, and emotional impact of monochrome images. This conversation encouraged listeners to appreciate the nuances of visual storytelling in black and white, transcending mere aesthetic appeal to delve into deeper themes of contrast, tone, and mood. At the end of the day, this exploration not only enriches understanding but also fosters growth in the appreciation of photography as an art form. It adds to the group learning process. Audience participation through sharing and feedback is greatly appreciated. Keep up your creative and perceptive adventure. God bless.